Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is the Our Turf Football Podcast. I'm Dana. Lisa's spitting her drink out all over. What are you doing down there? Oh my gosh. We got Sonia. We got Kate. We have Lisa. We have all four of us today. You know why? Because this is our favorite show of the year. We love this show because we go back about, what is it, Kate, like usually about halfway through the season and look up how wrong we were. But sometimes we're dead on. I have to say, there are some divisions we just nail and get really good. But yeah. So it's a fun show. So we have been doing this. Lisa, you said you pulled up your Facebook memory. And what year was that?
2014. And it was our second annual.
Yeah. So this is our 12th edition of this show. Yes, we've been around forever, people. I don't know if you know that or not. We've been around forever. So anyway, we're excited. So we are going to go through every single division. We're going to tell you how we're going to rank those teams. And then some people like to go into the playoffs. Some like to predict the Super Bowl. It's kind of up to each one of us how we want to do that. We are also going to have a hot take. I think mine's good. I'm excited. So a hot take for each of us. And, just to see kind of in the league what we think maybe one of the surprises is. But this is a longer show. Now, I know we try to keep it to 30 minutes. We always get to at least 40. But this one, we are keeping, it will be under an hour. I promise. If I have to mute them, it will be an hour.
At least them.
Yeah, it is you. It is you too. Sonia and I got it. No, I'm kidding. But here's the thing. Before we get started, I want to go ahead and thank our sponsor, Donkey's Place Cheesesteaks. It's our 4th year. They have been our sponsor. We love and adore them. They have 3 locations in New Jersey, Camden, Mount Holly, and Medford. But you can also go to goldbelly.com, look up Donkey's Place Cheesesteaks, and have it sent right to your house. And it's delicious. And we highly encourage you. You know, it's really good to have it. And they might kill me for saying this, but it's really good like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving where you don't want to actually like cook. So if you order it like the weekend before, it'll be to your house before that. It's awesome. You guys should really try it out. So goldbelly.com. Thank you, donkeys. Okay. Camden has lost her mind already.
Somebody started drinking early.
Oh my Lord.
20-0. Good luck, Dana. Okay, this comes from a Hawk Blogger conversation where I was the pessimist of the group. Me. You guys know I'm like Pollyanna, right? I wasn't in this one, but that's okay. So anyway. All right. So you guys watching over on Facebook, watching over on Twitter. I know there's a handful of you. I can see you.
Good God.
Then I want you to come over to YouTube, join our live chat, and you can tell us your thoughts on every single one of the divisions. So let's get started, okay? We are going to start with the NFC North, okay? We have in the NFC North lots of conversations going on about the Bears and the wonderful Caleb Williams. Don't get me started. The Vikings and all of their injuries. We have the Packers. We have the Lions. This is a really fun division. Sonia, do you want to go first or do you want to go last?
I'll go last.
Okay. Hey, do you want to go first?
I want to go second.
You want to go second?
Shit.
Fine, I'll go first. I have no problem going first. Unless Lisa. Okay.
Go first. Then
I don't mind me.
We have left for this division.
So, NFC North. This is how I have it knocked down. I have the Lions winning the division by 1 game. I have the Packers coming in second, Bears third, Vikings last. Now, don't be mad at me, Vikings fans. The only reason why I have you guys in there at last place is because of your injury situation already. Now, that doesn't mean that your backup quarterback, who is a thorn in the Seahawks side, could not do good things. But I'm just saying, I just feel I feel like the season's been set a little bit there. Here is my big thing. I think that there could very easily, depending on how things go for Mr. Caleb Williams, 3 playoff teams in this division. That would not surprise me in any way, shape, or form. I also think there could possibly be a Super Bowl winner in this team. All right, Lisa. No, Kate, you wanted to go second. You go. I know. I'll tell you at the end.
Okay. I have Detroit first.
Okay.
By 3 games over the Packers.
Oh, 3. Love it.
I have the Bears in third. And I have the Sam Darnold-led Vikings last. But I don't see this as a 3-team division for the playoffs. I
said could be.
I don't think it's even close. Looking at the other divisions where I think there will be 3,
yeah,
I do not have enough faith in Caleb Williams and the rest of the Bears that they're going to get past 7 wins.
Okay.
But
I don't think that's really such a hot take because we don't know, right? We got to see
Right.
what this kid can do for sure. Lisa, where are you at with this division?
I got the Packers winning this division outright, and that's just because of the quarterback
Oh.
play. I like Love better
He
than
likes Love.
Golf. I trust.
You've always liked Love.
Yep,
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
trust him a lot better than Golf. Jared Goff. I've pretty much got the Bears and the Vikings flipping a coin.
Okay.
For last place. I just think I got the Vikings just barely beating the Bears out. I think they're going to go back and forth. I just don't have faith in Sam Darnold. I just really don't. I just, and Caleb, I think is going to win. I think Caleb's going to win games by himself with his athleticism. So I think that's going to propel them over the Vikings. But I've got the Packers winning this division outright with the Lions second.
Okay.
And
All right.
I think you might get two playoff teams out of this.
I think you'll get at least 2 out of there without question. It's possible. We just don't know what's going to happen in Chicago. All right. This is your heart here, Sonia. This is your team. You tell me how you feel about this division.
Lions, Packers, Bears, Mini. 2 playoff teams. I don't think the Bears are going to make it. I think that the Packers are going to be very good, and I think that they're going to give Detroit a run for their money, but I still feel that Detroit is the better team. So that's my take. I think we get 2 playoff teams, the Lions and the Packers.
What's interesting to me a little bit with this one, and we have people in the comments who are telling us their thoughts in this league. That's what we want. So if you guys are over here in the YouTube, in the live chat, we want to see your rankings for each division. We want to hear your arguments. We're going to share those. That's the fun of coming over here to the YouTube channel. So let's do this. I think it's really interesting with this division because Green Bay finished so strong, right? Can they continue that? Can you come, Minneapolis, can you come back from these? Bears, you're a question mark. The Lions are the one where I'm like, yep, that's the one. That's why I think they're going to win the division. I think it's really interesting. So let's go through these. So Camden thinks the Packers are overrated. I don't know. I need to see how they start this season compared to how they finish this one. We have Big Red. He says, Caleb needs to put in a few wins together for me to take him too seriously in the NFL. I think that that's valid. I think that that is absolutely valid. Our good friend Darcy, he says Detroit, Green Bay, Chicago, Mini. So it's a 2-team division still. The only reason why I said it's possible for 3 is because if Caleb Williams is who he's supposed to be, they could squeak in. We'll see. So, and then we have Big Red saying, again, this is Detroit's year. I completely agree. And then he's got it. Lions, Green Bay, Bears, and Vikings in that order. All right. Love that. Now, if you guys are giving us comments over on the Twitter feed, we cannot read those while we're live. So that's why we encourage you to come over to the YouTube channel. So, all right. Look at that. We did that division. I'm so proud of you guys right now. So proud of you. But I think this one is kind of a logical one. I think we're going to get into some arguments here. But I think right now that one is a logical one. So let's go on to the next one. So we're doing 2 beloved divisions back to back. We are doing the AFC North now. That is the Browns, the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Ravens. I will tell you, this one was a little harder for me. I struggled with this one. Sonia, where did you sit with this division?
It's hard. It's really, really hard. I think this is going to be a tough division. But I also think that it really depends on Joe Burrow staying healthy. So right now, if all things are even, it's very close. Okay, I'm going to say Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals. But it's like all going to be mushed together in one.
Where did that come from?
All like there's like
she pulled that one out right out her back pocket. Did you see that?
Sure did.
Yes.
I love it.
Are happening now.
Love it. I love it. The fun thing is that Kate's going to go back and watch this, and she's going to write all these down for us later. She's not doing it now. She's doing it, and then we'll get to go laugh at Sonia later. But you know what? Anything is possible.
You can laugh at me.
No, anything is possible in this division. That's why it's kind of hard. Lisa, where do you sit with the NFC
This is
North?
hard.
Well,
I
it's
know.
not too hard for me because I go back. You always go back to the Ravens. I mean, the top 5 offense, top 5 defense, special teams is outstanding. John
Mhm.
Harbaugh always is there at the end. They added Derrick Henry, another power runner, to take some heat off Lamar. So until that gets to throne, it's the Ravens division to me. Bengals and Browns to me will go duke it out for second. If Joe Burrow stays healthy and Jamar Chase stays healthy and happy, I think the Bengals will just squeak by the Browns. Steelers, though, I just don't know what we're going to get with the Steelers. I don't know if we're going to get classic Russell or if we'll get Denver Russell. And then we see flip-flop quarterbacks. Right now, with the degree of just not knowing, I have to put them down at the bottom right now because I just don't know where they are. So I'm topping it off with the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, and Steelers.
So this one was really hard for me. And I even wrote in my notes interchangeable, right? Because I just really feel like it's going to be one bad game, one bad injury. That's how this whole thing is going to grow. And I don't want, Kate, I want to be able to explain to you my rankings a little bit here. So I have the Bengals winning the division because I feel like, once again, if Joe Burrow stays healthy, he's going to come back with a vengeance this year. I think he's just wants to prove that, everything that's been going on with him and that he's worthy of the title of elite quarterback that he has been given. I have the Ravens coming in second. So those two I really feel are interchangeable for first place. And the reason is the magic bullet is going to be Derrick Henry. And the reason that I say that is, how does Lamar get hurt? Lamar gets hurt running. If you can take some of that pressure off of him, give some of those runs to Derrick Henry, Lamar can do other things. So they might be able to change it up a little bit more. And I think that would be really fun to watch. Lamar Jackson is also lighter and faster this year. Like, he leaned down. So what that tells me is that good Harbaugh is telling him, absolutely, you are not running into as many situations as you had before, right? Look what happened to Russell after all those years. Russell Wilson running around like chicken with his head cut off. It finally caught up to him. And I don't think that they want to change the plan now. Patrick Mahomes doesn't run as much as he used to. Russell didn't run as much. So those running quarterbacks have to be kind of tamed. And I think that sign for us is Derrick Henry coming into this. Then I have the Steelers and the Browns in third and fourth. Once again, interchangeable. That's going to come back and forth because we don't know what kind of Russell Wilson we will get with the Steelers. We don't know how they're going to do. Here is my thing, Kate. I think that the Browns could easily be in second place in this division without question. I don't trust your quarterback. And so if he can stay on the field, I can see going boom, 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 right up to second place. If he can't, then I think that you guys are just kind of stuck again. But you know how I feel about Myles Garrett. I love him so, and he looks so much better in blue and green. But I'm just saying that I think that all 4 of these teams are completely interchangeable, which sounds like a cop-out, but I'm really not trying to. It's just going to take one injury on one team, and it's going to shift the entire order. All right, Kate, you can yell at me now.
All right, so I have the Ravens winning the division. I had the Bengals winning it until last Friday. And all the stuff that we've seen the last few days about Jamar Chase has me more concerned about anything else in Cincinnati. So I have the Ravens winning the division. Your point about Lamar Jackson not running is valid, but I think the reason the Derrick Henry signing was so important is because they had to give Lamar someone who is incredibly talented at running. So Lamar would say, "You're right. I can let him carry the ball, not no-name running back. That's somebody that Lamar could trust to run the ball." So I think they're still going to have problems in the playoffs. They're still not going to get to the Super Bowl, but they are going to win the division. And then within a game behind them are going to be the Bengals and Browns, interchangeable. If I get quarterback play out of Deshaun Watson, I don't have Nick Chubb for the first 4 weeks. So that puts me at second or third. Just the fact that I'm not going to have Nick Chubb for 4 weeks, and we have the Cowboys to open. And I have the Steelers in dead last. I don't know why y'all are so optimistic that just Russell Wilson alone is going to get this team past 7 wins. Maybe Mike Tomlin will will them to 9, but that locker room is a hot mess. Locker room is divided between who wants Russell and who wants Justin Fields, and that's going to pay them. It's going to cost them. They're going to be the 4th place in this division. And this division, It's not even a hot take. I'm just going to say it. This division is sending 3 teams to the playoff. Period.
Yep.
I'll
3.
agree.
I think unless there's some major like injury, meltdown, bug, whatever, I think you're right. I think that's completely doable. 100%.
Yep.
Agreed.
All right. So let's go and look where we're at.
Ravens, Bengals, correct?
I have Bengals.
Because I have my little
I
spreadsheet
want
where I'm
Ravens.
tracking what y'all said. Because
I want
the last
Ravens.
2 years I was on the road for this show, and I had to trust Sonia to remember to read my picks. So I'm getting them all typed
I
down
did.
now.
I
have
was
to watch it again
good.
later.
Good. All right. So Big Red has Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Steelers. Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. Darcy's got Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. Hardest division to pick. 3 teams should
Yeah.
easily make the
Yeah,
playoffs.
Darcy and I are on the same
Big Red.
page.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And Big Red, you're so funny. I love that you think that's fun. I've called him Good Harbaugh since Jim Evil Harbaugh was still the coach of the 49ers. So yeah,
Yes.
that's his nickname for us. I love it so much. So all right. This is a good question though, Kate, for you. How many starts has Watson had in Cleveland, and does that affect how he's performed? Oh, he'll perform.
It does.
Mhm.
6, 10, like not a lot. It's why Joe Flacco did so well last year, because the rest of my team was so good that you could just plug somebody in.
It's true.
I don't know what that play calling was in the playoff game against Houston. Kevin Stefanski and I are still not speaking. I'm not talking to him. I don't know if he's aware that I'm not talking to him, but I am not talking to him. DTR as my backup quarterback has come a long way.
Mhm.
If I can get Deshaun through week 8 to where I'm very comfortable that Chubb, I've got Jerry Jeudy, I've got Amari Cooper, I've got David Njoku. I have plenty of offensive weapons.
Mhm.
I can have a backup quarterback get me to the end. It's those first 8 weeks that are going to be very important for Cleveland, and then keeping Nick Chubb healthy once he's back. So
right. Yeah, that's why it's a
says-
toss-up. That's why it's interchangeable, right? We don't
I
even
think
know.
Mhm.
there are 2 divisions, this one, and we'll talk about another one later, where none of the finishing order will surprise me.
Exactly.
I don't think it will surprise any of us. We think we
I
know
have
what's going
that
to be 1 to
exactly right
4,
now. I know.
but
No.
there is nothing that will surprise me in how this division goes.
That's exactly what it says in my notes. All right, Camden says the Bengals are overrated since their Super Bowl. I disagree with that, but I don't think we've seen completely what they can do since their Super Bowl. Their Super Bowl.
Not if they stay healthy and
They stay
don't
healthy. That's
play
the biggest thing.
injured.
Yeah.
or pay their players. That would be really good.
Wow.
All right, let's go on. This division is my shocker division.
This is a shocker.
This is the
division.
one where I threw it against the wall to see what would stick. We were talking about the
Jesus.
NFC East. We're talking about the Giants and the Cowboys and the Eagles and the Commanders. This one's a little nutty. Lisa, I want to start with you. Where are you at with the NFC East?
I think the Eagles are just a much better team than the Cowboys. I just really do.
Agreed.
So I think with Barkley being added, Huff being added, they got a new signal caller. I just think and coordinators, I just think feel on paper and even in talent wise, I think the Eagles and the stretch of their schedule is not like it was last year. They've got a much easier stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And we've not had a repeat champion in this division in several years.
Yeah.
So I've got this one going out. I've got it Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, and Giants. I just think the Giants are just a mess right now. I don't see them doing anything with Danny Dimes. I'm just not a big fan of the Cowboys' whole structure. So I think it's the Eagles division to win.
Oh, love it. I will tell you, when I was doing research for this, I could not find one single person that didn't have the Giants in last place. Not one expert, not one media outlet, nothing. Everyone had them in last place. So I think if they're not, that's the shocker. This is so sure. Absolutely. Sonia, how do you feel about the NFC East?
I feel more optimistic about Washington this year. I think there's some good stuff brewing there. I don't think it's enough for them to win the division, but I like what they've got going on, and I expect to see some pretty decent things out of them this season. That said, Eagles, Dallas, Washington, and the Giants. That's how I feel right now. And Dallas, I'm not even 1,000% sold on them. I think really it rides on the back of Dak right now. And I don't trust him to go like super far, but yeah, I would not be surprised if Washington and Dallas switch places in my mind.
Love that. Kate, what about you?
Stop it, Kate.
So I have the Giants in last place.
Of
Okay.
course.
Okay.
I have the Cowboys in third. They paid CeeDee Lamb way too much money, and he and Dak aren't going to get along.
Yeah.
I have the Eagles in second because they're overrated. I have the Commanders winning this division. This is my hot take of the day. I with everything I've seen and looking at the offseason moves and hearing what I'm hearing about the locker room and the way the players are gelling, Washington is going to shock the world and win this division.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
Okay.
God. So look,
Nice.
Big Red, Commanders, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants. What does Dana have? Commanders, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants. I'm looking at this and I still like the Eagles. I just think they're going to have a year of adjustment with the players that they lost, right? I think that we're just going to have to see that. I think Dan Quinn is going to grab that team. He's going to grab his rookie. And I love Dan Quinn. You guys know that. And he knows what Dallas has got up their sleeve, right? Because that's where he was at for so many years. I think that they are going to come in, and it might be by one game. It might be by, their opponent's record, whatever it is. But I think they're going to come in and win this division. And I think the interesting thing about this is that this will be Dallas's year to completely fall apart around Dak. I think Dak will be in there till the end, killing himself, trying to save this team, trying to get them to where they want to be, right? And just not being able to do it. I don't know that they have this handful. They have Dak, they have CeeDee, they have Micah Parsons. They have nothing in the middle. They have no depth to that team at all. And so I think that this will be the year that Jerry will be forced to deal with the facts of what he's done to this team over the last few years. Breaks my heart for Cowboys fans because they are diehards, right? And our good friend Michelle, she is definitely one of them. But I think they're ready for a change. I think that they're all, ready to kind of get rid of this regime and get moving on with it. So I don't know if it'll happen. I love that people agree with me on it, though. But I just think the Commanders are going to come in and just eke out the Eagles to win this division. Lisa thinks we're crazy. You think we're crazy? You don't think Jaden Daniels can do it?
You like Jaden Daniels.
I think Jalen Hurts is a miles ahead of Jalen Daniels.
But what about the rest of the team?
Quarterback play is going to win this division.
They're going to miss Jason Kelce this year.
Ooh. They are, and Fletcher Cox.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely there. So, all right. So then Big Red has to say, even if Dallas wins the division, what are the chances they realistically win a playoff game?
They're not.
0.
You know what, Big Red? That was a nice question until you added the smiley faces at the end. The chances are 0.
Right. That's so good. And then Darcy chimes in with, I'm the Washington fan. He is. I did know that. Yeah. And picking him third in the division. Fan. You sound like me as a Seahawks fan. I like our team. I'd love to see us win the division. Really, we all would love to see you guys win the division. I like it. I think that would be just so fun. And that's no shade to the Eagles or any of the rest of them. I just think it'd be fun.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not that your team got that much better. It's that the other teams came back to you. And I think I'm not saying Washington's going to win 13 games. I'm saying they could win 10 or 11, which will be enough to take the division because I think the field's coming back to him.
I do too. I do too. It makes me really excited. Okay, so now we're going to go the AFC East. I was going to skip it, but, Lisa might get mad if we skipped her. So, no, I'm kidding. Hey, I'm going to start with you with the AFC East. How do you like? We have the Jets, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Patriots. Where are you at with these guys?
So this is a very difficult decision for me. And I'm trying to weigh my homerness with my third favorite NFL team, with Lisa's favorite team. This division's going to come down to Miami and Buffalo. And with the way Buffalo has performed in the last few years, I'm giving Miami the edge. They've both had their choke moments, but Buffalo seems to string a bunch of choke games together where Miami just does it like in one big one. So if I feel like, and Lisa will know better, but it feels from the outside like they're more settled on Tua, like they're more sure that it's Tua. There's not these last couple of years we've had this, is it Tua, isn't it Tua kind of thing. He just got a new deal. And I frankly don't care if the Jets or the Patriots are last. One of them's going to be, they're both going to 4 wins.
Yeah.
from either team. They're both going to be absolute garbage this year. I don't know that Aaron Rodgers will stay healthy all year, but I don't know that he can get this team to even 500. So I'm not worried about the Jets.
Really? Oh, the
Yeah.
Jets fans are coming for you.
They
Holy
can
cow.
come.
Yeah, they are.
Bring it.
Yeah, they are.
So
I'm
a little surprised at that.
I wish I could believe in the Bills. I wish I could believe that Josh Allen, because he shows those sparks where he's figured it out and they don't try to make him do too much and they run when it makes sense and throw. But on a 6-game streak at the end of the year, you can't lose those games like they have the last couple. And I don't know that anything is their coaching, let's say, their coaching staff hasn't improved itself. So I'm going to give Miami the edge in that division. They'll both make the playoffs, but I'm going to give Miami the division.
Yeah. That's interesting. So I'm going to go, Sonia, and then I'm going to let you go if you don't mind, because I want to piggyback on something Kate said. So I too struggled with this division between the Dolphins and the Bills, because it really is two teams that just one season or the other, they put their foot in it. Right. And then it's like, oh God, what happened? You know what I mean? It's like, it's just right there. This year I did pick the Dolphins to win the division because I think that they have enough weapons, and I piggyback on what you said about Tua. I think he has that confidence now. So that's what I'm kind of hoping to see from him, and that he can stay healthy. I have the Bills coming in second and not far behind Miami. I think it's going to come down to one division game that maybe they split. I really think that'll be it. I have the Jets coming in third, but once again, right behind the Bills. So this is my theory on the Jets. I think the Jets are insanely talented. I think they have some players that are so flipping good. It's going to come down to their quarterback play. We know that. I think Aaron Rodgers makes it halfway through the season. That is my expectation. And he might make it the whole season. Although, did you guys hear? He's still whining that the 49ers didn't come get. I can't even with that guy. But so I think I expect maybe 8 games out of Aaron Rodgers. So I think the Jets start off like a rocket, and they are just so good. And then it crashes on them, which is too bad, because they do have they have Garrett, and they have a lot of really talented players. And so I think that that'll be good. Once again, this is a division that could send 3 teams to the playoffs, depending on if Aaron Rodgers stays through the whole entire season. And then I too have the Patriots coming in behind. I think Gerard Mayo could be a really good coach. It's just going to take him a few years, I think, to kind of sort through all of that. So we'll see how it goes. But Sonia, what do you think about the AFC East?
I think Miami, Buffalo, New York, or the Jets and the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Buffalo is a little bit in an identity crisis right now. And I think that they don't know which Bills team is going to show up. I mean, they've lost Stephon Diggs. They've had just kind of like a brain fart team, if I can say that. But I think Miami is a little bit more solid and a little bit more polished, if you will. And like you said, they've got Tua. I think that gives him a bunch of confidence. So you've got a confident Tua. I looked at the schedule just now. They don't have to play, or they play the Bills in Buffalo like in November. So it hasn't gotten like crazy cold by then. Right. So I think that there's a decent chance that Miami wins this division. The Jets, I don't see 3 teams making the playoffs.
Really? So you guys just don't have faith in the Jets? That's interesting to me.
Don't.
Okay.
I really don't. I think there's talent there, but I don't know about the coaching. I just don't know. And Aaron Rodgers, I don't know about the Jets this year, guys. I don't.
Interesting. Okay. Gosh, the national media is all about them. They're having them win the division. So I think, but we heard that last year, right? Okay.
Right.
Lisa, the floor is yours.
Well, when you look at the Buffalo Bills, 5 straight division championships, 5. Miami came close last year. I think when you look at Miami, what they've done, I mean, they bolster the best wide receiver duo in the AFC to me with Hill and Waddle, and followed by OBJ and a couple other great wide receivers we have. I think the difference is the Vic Fangio experiment's over. Anthony Weaver takes over this defense. And to me, it's all going to see how this defensive front plays. And I think that is going to push us over the top to finally dethrone them is our defense. Believe it or not, I'm saying it is going to be our defense. And that's because that's been our Achilles heel with the Buffalo Bills the last 5 years has been our defense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they have a lot of faith in Anthony Weaver to finally get it over the top. The fun comes with the Bills and the Jets. I think this is going to be a shootout. If Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, that Jets defense is for real. I mean,
seriously, yeah.
I mean, it really is. So Aaron Rodgers is a good enough quarterback to,
yeah.
He
just has to be there.
Exactly. And it's going to be the unknown is just him with the Jets. Last year we did the same thing. They were going to win the division because of Aaron and first game, bam, he's gone. I'm with Dana. I think he lasts a couple more games than what we think, but I think mid-season we might see some issues.
Yeah.
So I've got it going down Dolphins, Bills, Jets, and Patriots.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think the Patriots, Mayo's going to need a couple years to get a quarterback and get the guys that he wants in.
All right, we got lots of. Go ahead, Kate.
When Rodgers gets hurt and is out, you're now relying on Tyrod Taylor.
No, I get it. That's my point. I think that they'll start out with like a rocket, and then they'll go downhill and end up in third place. That's really truly what I think. But all right, we have lots of comments about this one.
Yeah,
so we have Darcy. He has Buffalo, Miami, Jets, New England. Not as confident in Buffalo winning the division this year as in past years. I'm with you there, Darcy. I have a hot take. So this is my hot take. I asked everyone to have one hot take. This is mine. I truly believe that, and I'm not the only one. I've read other people say this too, and I'm like, yep, this is it. If Buffalo wins this division, there is a very high probability that Allen wins MVP because he is going to have to put this team on his back in order for that to happen. And so if it does, and they do well in the playoffs, I think Allen's going to end up MVP. So that's my big hot take on that one. All right. Big Red, Bills, Miami, Jets, Patriots. We have Becky, Miami, Bills, Jets, then Patriots.
Liking Becky a little more.
And then she has another one there. It says Miami better hope they win enough games for home field advantage, though, or they'll just lose in the cold again. Yeah, that is unfortunate for them. True. And then Darcy, I haven't either. So Darcy's like, I haven't seen anyone pick the Patriots other than last. And it's the same with the Giants. I didn't see anyone because they know we don't know what we're going to get out of Drake Mayo if that's who ends up starting, which we know right now they say it's not, but we don't know that that's going to happen. So we'll see. Big Red says, I just hope Rodgers doesn't get hurt in the first four games. Agreed. And then our dear darling Michelle Jinks. She is boo. She is part of the Our Turf Football College Edition, which is on every Wednesday night. So make sure you guys watch that. My boo Rodgers is good for 8 to 9 games. That's what I think too, Michelle. I think there. And then Becky says Tyrod is an upgrade from Zach Wilson. Yes. Fair. Valid.
Very fair.
100%. Absolutely. And the talent there. And Lisa, you're right. That Jets defense. Woo, pretty.
So pretty impressive.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know we're at 33 minutes and we are halfway done. That is a miracle for us. You have no idea. I'm very proud of us right now. Once again, I want to remind everyone, if you are, Kate's t-shirt. Sorry, Camp Football. If you guys are watching over on Twitter or on Facebook, come over to the YouTube channel, join the chat, give us your rankings. We want to hear you tell us we're right, tell us we're wrong, tell us we're crazy, tell us whatever you want to tell us, and we'll be happy to put that on the air with us, unless it's mean, because we don't do mean around here. All right.
We're demure.
No.
And we're classy.
Have you seen this?
And we're mindful.
Anyway, we are moving on to the West. We are going to the NFC West next. That, of course, is the Rams, the Seahawks, the Niners, and the Arizona Cardinals. Oh, this one's so tough for me. Okay, Kate, why don't we start with you? Where are you at with the NFC West?
So this one was I hate when I have to pick a division that has one of y'all's favorite teams in it.
Nope,
and you're not
going to hurt my feelings this year.
So I think they're going to finish the same way they did last year. 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals. But I think the Cardinals are going to be even farther away from everyone else than they were last year.
Really?
Because they have done nothing to improve that team.
You don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. was the one missing piece?
I do not. I believe that Marvin Harrison Jr. is Kyler Murray's ticket out of there because they're trying to make Kyler Murray their quarterback, and they're trying to convince everyone that they just needed to get him weapons, and you just got him maybe one of the best wide receivers to come out in the draft in the last 10 years, and it's not going to matter. So they're going to keep Marvin Harrison Jr., and they're going to get him a real quarterback next year, and they're done. So they're last. But I think it's still 49ers, Rams, Seahawks. I love me some Geno. I think there'll be some competition between.
Don't say that in front of Lisa.
I do not love me any Rams at all. So I think there'll be, you could flip-flop second and third, but I think this is the 49ers division to lose.
Could be. Sonia, what about you?
It's the Niners division to lose. So I'm going to say Niners, Rams, Hawks, Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are going to be a little bit more improved this year. I think Kyler and Marvin Harrison are going to be decent. But I don't think it's going to be able to overcome the rest of their issues. I think the Rams go as Matt Stafford goes. And we all know how he is oft injured and oft never says anything about said injury. And so that is very tough, I think. And they also, they lost Aaron Donald. So it's still kind of up for grabs. But yeah, that's what I think. That's my thoughts.
All right, Lisa, no complaining about Gina while I'm muting you.
The only thing I want to throw in before Lisa talks is that while I think the Cardinals are going to be crap, I do think Marvin Harrison is going to get his catches and is going to put up fantasy numbers, is going to be a top 5 wide receiver from a yardage and scoring point this year. It's just not going to be enough because once defenses figure that out,
you got to keep Kyler Murray in the pocket for that. And that's been a hell bet things for any coach has been there. You got to keep the kid in the pocket, and he doesn't stay in the pocket.
Right.
That's you'll have extended plays, but we talked about it with Caleb Williams. The same thing. You got to keep the kid in the pocket. Yeah, you're going to have some nice flashy throws, but look what's happened. Now we got it figured out. Now we're going to take some things away. So I think with Kyler, it's the same thing. I have the Cardinals finishing dead last again. I have no faith in Kyler Murray. I don't think he's flashy and everything like that. He's fine. It's the 49ers for me the same way. I go down with Kate. I think it's theirs to lose. I got the Rams second. Just because I think, welcome to life after Pete Carroll for Seahawk fans. You have a defensive-minded coach. You got Geno Smith as your quarterback. Like I said.
Stop it. I'll mute you.
Not god-awful, but it's mediocre. You're going to finish every single dang season right in the middle of the pack.
That's Kirk Cousins. That's Kirk Cousins.
Yes. But it's
we're not in that division
yet. Right. Which I think it's the same thing. But like I said, it's the life after Pete Carroll. Pete brought Geno in, he new coach did it. So I think you're going to you're going to see a little bit of change. So I got the Seahawks third. So I got 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, and Cardinals.
So it's interesting from living and breathing this division, most of my football world. And I did a ton of research on this because I felt like there were a lot of teams kind of up in the air, right? And I didn't feel like I had a super good grasp on a bunch of divisions, but I was reading about the NFC West, and this one, a lot of the major media was talking about how this is really hard to pick because you have the 49ers sitting up there, putting together the same team over and over and over again. They go great and they can get all the way to the playoffs, but they can't win a Super Bowl. And so will there be some changes there for them? And then there was all this stupid drama in the offseason, which of course doesn't matter when you start to play the game, but you never know how that wears on a team. Then you have the Rams, and there were a lot of people really struggling with the Rams. They had a great draft. They've got lots of weapons. They have a great running back in Kyren Williams. They have, they still have Puka Nacua. They still have Cooper Kupp, who could, have a flashback year. But then you have Matt Stafford, who is one hit away from retirement, right? Let's be honest. And so if he can stay upright, then they could have a great year, but they're missing Aaron Donald, where I truly don't think Aaron Donald was the linchpin of the whole team, but you can't ignore that he's gone now, right? Like you just can't. Right. So there's some question marks around them, tons of question marks around the Seahawks, right? Whole new staff, top to bottom, completely got it. So we have new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new lineman. I mean, everything. And so where they don't know what to expect, which we like. I love that, by the way. And then you have the Cardinals, who until proven otherwise are still the Cardinals. right?
Mhm.
You can throw. Kate, was it Robinson? Who was that kid, the defensive player at the draft that got picked by the Cardinals? Loved him. He was fantastic. I think he's hurt already for the season. And I was like, I think that's who that was. And I was like, dang it, that was the one Cardinal that I actually really liked. But so already one of their first round picks is, injured. So I don't know. I think that's going to be kind of, this division is not as much of a shakeup as maybe the Ravens and the Steelers and everyone, but I do think there's opportunity for a lot of these teams. In this division, I have the 49ers winning also, just because, like Michelle says all the time, until proven otherwise, right? That's kind of where we're at with them.
Mhm.
I do have Seattle coming in second not because I'm a homer, because I think from the changes I've seen, this offense is going to look very different. And I think it's going to take other teams a minute to catch up to it. This is a college offense, right? Ryan Grubb came straight out of University of Washington. So we're going to see how that's going to do. But I do then have the Rams because I don't know that Matt Stafford's going to make it the whole season. And really, that's all it comes down to for me on that one. And then I have the Cardinals in last place. One thing with the Cardinals, though, you guys, I'm fascinated to watch McBride, their tight end. One of the better tight ends in the league already. He is going to be quite a weapon for them if Kyler Murray can actually, like Lisa said, stay in the stupid pocket, right? So I think that that's going to be interesting. I think this is going to be fun. I am not worried about winning the division this year. As a Seahawks fan, I am not worried. I want to see what the changes look like and how they can improve. And I think that that'll be really good. All right. So let's get to our chat. We have quite a few. Once again, Camden wants to remind us that we have Bill Belichick 2.0 and Aaron Donald 2.0 and Byron Murphy. I don't think so. I really like him too. And they're going 20-0 because Camden has the faith. All right. So then Darcy, yes. San Francisco, Seattle, Rams, and Arizona. I think most of us are kind of in the same spot with Arizona, except for Big Red. Ooh. Niners, Cards, Rams, Seahawks.
Oh, I'll have what he's having.
Look at you, right? Big Red.
Let
me tell you, Big Red, if the Cards came in second, I think it would shock the world. I'm not even kidding you. Good call if that's what happens. I love it. We got our good friend Michelle, 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, and Arizona. And then Kristen is here, and she's loving the positivity from Camden. Go Hawks for sure. And then she also says, I'm happy for the Hawks to keep flying under the radar. Oh, my God. Peter Schrager goes on Good Morning Football and says he thinks Mike McDonald's going to get Coach of the Year. The Seahawks fandom had a meltdown. They're like, be quiet. Don't talk about it because they think it's bad luck. And then Michelle Jinx says defense wins championships, Lisa. The Hawks will battle for first. See, that girl's got my heart right there. And then Becky thinks the top three teams might make the playoffs. There's a few handful of divisions where I really think that that's going to be kind of interesting. So, all right, let's move on. AFC West. If we can't do this division in 3 minutes, there's something wrong with us at this point, right?
For real.
Sonia, why don't you go first with the AFC West?
Oh, I wanted to go first.
You can say those Chargers, Raiders.
Say that again. Lisa was talking.
I'm sorry.
Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders. I think Bo Nix will be better than we expect.
Okay, so she's putting that on Bo Nix. Kate, what about you?
Chiefs and then everybody else in some place I don't care about. Like by 5 games. Like there's one team coming out of this division for the playoffs, and it's the Chiefs. And I don't even know why we have to watch games involving the other teams.
So, but let's be serious for a minute. God. You don't think that evil Harbaugh cannot raise the bar in I almost said San Diego, in LA with the Chargers?
Evil so Harbaugh. They win 6 games instead of 5? Okay.
Jesus.
Fair. Look at Darcy. I'm putting your chat up now. Casey wins the division by week 8 and the rest of
Jesus.
Lisa, do you disagree?
Listen, I at least got some things to say about this division.
So go ahead.
Jesus. Of course it's the Chiefs until proven otherwise. You look at I think this is an interesting division because when you look at the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos, Broncos are going to be dealing with the Bo Nix development, how he develops. So you got to give them a pass this year because it's going to all be on a rookie quarterback. But when you get to the Chargers and the Raiders are an influx of quarterback issues right now. Gardner Minshew's not going to win you the division. Okay, I'm sorry. The Chargers are interesting because when you look at Evil Harbaugh in Michigan, I did the research on Michigan. He's a run the ball coach.
Yeah.
It's a
Yes,
run
he
first and
is.
pass, which is
Very
totally
much
the
so.
opposite of Justin Herbert. So it's
Mhm.
going to be interesting to see how he molds Herbert, which to me, I honestly think is going to help Herbert.
I do too.
Stay in the pocket, run the ball, run the ball. If you can get ahead of the sticks, I've got this Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. And the Chargers, I think, if he can put it together, and he just, like I said, because they still have the running back, I forgot his name, the good running back they had.
Mhm.
The Chargers can make some noise a little bit. I don't expect 2 playoff teams out of this division, to be honest with you, too. But I think the Chargers going to make a little bit noise, depending, because like I said, it's very interesting to see what Harbaugh is going to do with the Chargers. So Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos.
I agree with you, Lisa. I think that we are going to see not necessarily a huge jump in the
Right.
Chargers, but it is going to be a different team without question. As much crap as I give Evil Harbaugh, and it's Jim Harbaugh, and I only call him that because he was the coach of the 49ers for so long, but I think that his mind is so different than the rest of the coaches that were there. We have been waiting for years, Lisa, for Herbert to be who he should be. I think that maybe Harbaugh can get that out of him. Now, he couldn't get it out of a bunch of his other quarterbacks, but you never know.
Well,
I think
you
that
never know. And that's his background. He's a quarterback. I mean, when you look at it, you have a run the ball coach that used to be a quarterback, and then you have a quarterback that is potentially just a pocket passer. And so it's going to be interesting. So I think the Chargers is going to make a little bit more noise than people think.
I do too. I think it'll be interesting. So I also have the Chiefs winning. Duh, right? Because why not? And you know what's going to happen. And I'm not wishing this in any way, but they're going to end up last for some reason, injury or something. We'll be like, oh, it's the Chiefs all along. So the Chiefs, I have the Chargers, I have the Raiders, and then the Broncos. I think Gardner Minshew is a serviceable quarterback who can win you some more games. I don't know about Bo Nix. I think that he could be very good, Sonia. I do agree with you there. I don't know that he has a soul around him to help him. I think that the rest of that team is just not anywhere near where it needs to be to even pretend to fight in that division. And I despise their head coach so much that I really just want them to lose every game. But that wouldn't be fair to Bo Nix because he's a brand new kid, so I won't say that. But I do think that the Broncos are going to struggle much more than they think. That doesn't mean I don't like the direction that Nix is going to take them. I do think that is going to be very good for, I will tell you though, this was easily the easiest pick for sure. This whole one. So, all right. So we got some comments in here. Darcy says Casey wins the division. Like I said before, by week 8, Big Red thrown in a loop. Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, Chargers.
Oh no, get to Michelle. There's a loop. There's a loop here coming.
I know she's coming.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Evil Harbaugh from Kristen is going to swoop in like a villain and create some upsets. Yeah,
Agreed.
Too.
Kristen, I might like him then. I might be okay with him then if that happens because it makes me laugh. And here comes Michelle with her wild takes. God love her. Chargers 12 and 5. Chiefs 11 and 6.
Listen,
Broncos and
we
Raiders.
just talked about it.
It's possible, Michelle.
We just talked about it.
Girl. Oh my God, this town would lose its mind. You have no idea. Okay. And then we have Becky, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos. Raiders defense should be good, and that'll be a difference between second and third. You absolutely could be right. That is without a doubt a possibility. Big Red says, is Harbaugh capable of being Darth Hoodie in the AFC West? Maybe. I love Darth Hoodie. I can't believe I did that. Is this true? Michelle says Bo Nix is almost 30.
He's old.
Really?
He's older. I think he's 25.
Interesting.
He's not. He is older.
25 is not 30.
He's been around for a while. He's been around. I mean,
in football years, it is.
It is. That's fair. And COVID did screw with these ages pretty badly, right? For sure. So
he's 24.
He's 24.
I mean, he's no Brandon Whedon.
Right. Well, I will tell you, Russell Wilson was 24 when he started too. So let's keep that in mind. So, all right. So, but I think her point is that he's not average. Like he's not, 20.
He doesn't have long to develop is what she's saying. Yeah. They better develop quick.
All right. So let's move on to the South in our last 2 divisions. So we have the NFC South we're going to start with. It's the Saints, the Bucks, the Panthers, and the Falcons. Who wants to go first?
Good God.
Lisa wants to go first.
Oh my God. All right. Phew, this was a tough one for me. I did a little bit of research on this one. I loved what Baker Mayfield did last year. I like the fact that Mike Evans, even though he could have got more money, chose to come back to this team. So to me, that tells me that the locker room likes Baker, likes the nucleus of this team. So I'm going to go with that veteran type of atmosphere that the Bucks are poised to win the division. So I'm going to go with the Bucks. The Falcons and the Saints, I think, are going to battle it out between second. I think Kirk could actually be the difference there.
Mm-hmm.
I still need to see some more from the Panthers.
Yeah.
I hope I still have them finishing last, but with hopefully a couple more wins under the kids' belt to get them some confidence. But like, again, the same thing. They're going to be, developing him again. To me, this is another rookie season for him. It's a do-over.
Well, especially with a new coach. Yeah,
exactly. This is a mulligan. This is a mulligan.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put them last just because of that. I think it's going to take them another year but you want to see the development like we've talked about through the season. But I've got the Bucks. I guess if I had to, I think it's going to be the Bucks, Falcons, Saints, and Panthers.
Okay. Sonia, what's up? You live in Atlanta.
Yeah,
Come on.
I live in Atlanta. I live in Atlanta. Kirk's ready. I passed a big old billboard. Kirk's ready for us. I was
Is
like,
that what it said?
okay, great.
I thought I was going to say Kirk's
right.
beige. Sherwin-Williams, try our new Kirk Cousins beige.
Right? Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, I like what Tampa Bay has done, and I think that they're really trying to build something there. So I think Tampa Bay, they seem to be the most solid of the crew. It's a toss-up between Atlanta and New Orleans, but I'm gonna say Atlanta. I think they have a little bit better facade of a team, to say the least.
Yeah.
And then New Orleans, and then the Panthers. I really don't have high expectations. And I mean, I honestly think that the Falcons and the Saints will kind of go back and forth, to be quite honest. So I don't think it's going to be like a huge gap between the two of them.
Awesome. Kate?
I struggled with this one too, Lisa. And while I loved Mike Evans re-signing, and I thought it spoke well of the locker, he could be ring chasing somewhere, and he chose to stay there. But I just have a warm, fuzzy feeling about Derek Carr this year. I'm taking the Saints to win this division with the Bucks behind him, both of them making the playoffs, and then the Falcons, and then the Panthers. This is not my hot take. My hot take is in the AFC South. You'll love my hot take when we get there. But I feel like the Saints have been gaining momentum, and I just have a good feeling about them this year with Alvin Kamara and everything else that's been going on. I think Derek is flying under the radar while all these things are going on around them. And they got Spencer Rattler. Heck, Derek will probably get hurt 8 weeks in, and then Spencer Rattler will take him to the glory land. It could happen.
It could happen.
I'm not predicting it. But Saints.
Yeah. So it looks like, honestly, that the chat agrees with where I am going on this one. So I have the Falcons winning this division. And the reason is because I think Kirk Cousins is such an upgrade for what they have had that we might actually see Kyle Pitts be the player we thought he was going to be. Bijan Robinson is going to be fantastic. They have some great additions to that team. And I think that elevation in quarterback, and you can say what you want about Kirk Cousins, he is a solid, consistent, good quarterback. And so I think he's going to just bring it up enough that the rest of these teams are going to get a little, I think the Bucks they'll be right there neck and neck, but I think that the talent level there at quarterback is going to win that out. And that's no shade to Baker. He did great things last year. And then I have the Bucks coming in second. I have the Saints in third. And to be honest with you, I think the Saints and the Panthers are going to have a race to the bottom of that division. And the reason that I think that is I don't have a lot of faith in Derek Carr. So I think it's fascinating that you do have faith in Derek Carr, Kate, because I want him to be good. I've wanted him to be good since he was playing in Vegas. Like, I wanted that for him. What I think I feel might happen is that either by injury or by loss of games, Spencer Rattler's going to be playing after week 6 or 7. And so then they're going to have to play catch up at that point. And so we'll see how that goes. Now, here's the thing with the Saints. Sometimes they pull a rabbit out of a hat and you're like, where'd this team come from? And so you never quite know. But I think that I just don't know that this year. And then I agree with Lisa. I think that the Panthers should just discount last season for Bryce Young, start over. This is your rookie. This is your new head coach. And his head coach has been raving about him in practice, but it's a whole different scheme. So I hopefully we'll get to see good things for him, because I would hate for that kid's ego to take any more blows.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So in chat, we have Michelle's at Atlanta, Tampa, Panthers and Saints. Interesting, Michelle.
Damn, she got Saints living last.
Look at you. All right. And then Becky has the Falcons, Bucks, Saints, and Panthers. Big Red, the Saints winning the division. Also, Panthers, Bucks, and Falcons being last. That would be real interesting to me. Atlanta, Tampa, Saints, and Carolina from Darcy. And Michelle thinks that Atlanta's going to win that division 10-7. So it sounds to me like it's going to be a close division is for what that is. Big Red thinks that Rattler will be the best quarterback in the division. You have been screaming about Spencer Rattler all preseason. Big Red, you are sticking with your guy. Love it. And then Becky has a good point, which we did not bring up. If Kirk gets hurt, at least they have a viable, slightly younger backup, and that is in Michael Penix, who they drafted this year. There will be a lot of people who would want to see him play. So that would be interesting.
He played awful in the preseason. Whew.
Well,
good God.
Lots of people.
A lot of people played awful in the preseason.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And this is a good point from Big Red. Atlanta better do well with all that money they threw at the quarterback position. That is true. So
they put a lot.
Michelle does not have a lot of
very high draft pick. They spent money and a really high draft pick on that position.
It's true. She's confident. I think she mentioned not confident on Spencer Rattler because he hasn't lived up to the what's expected of him. So that is interesting. All right, last one. Kate, do you want to save your hot take for last?
Yeah.
You want to go first? Okay. Lisa, why don't you start with the AFC South?
All right, AFC South, and I'm going to practice what I've been preaching all year with Stephon Diggs. I think Stephon Diggs is going to be a poison for the Texans.
You have said that since he signed.
And I think he's going to get in his head. I think all those big signings, you got a lot of egos that are going to be poised and wanting, and I think it's going to derail them. I think with Anthony Richardson coming back healthy, played lights out, ready to go in preseason. I loved what I saw. They still have Jonathan Taylor running the ball. I have the Colts taking this division. I think the Colts are going to win the division. I think the Texans are going to be second, followed by the Jags. I have no confidence in the Titans. I still think they're in a rebuild type of situation, so I've got them finishing last. But I really think the Colts are going to take this division.
Interesting. Sonia, where are you at with these guys?
Until they prove me otherwise, it's Houston. I think, Stephon Diggs could be very much so a factor. However, I think maybe D'Amico Ryans is able to kind of rein him in a little bit. I think he'll be able to hopefully squash things from happening sooner rather than later if he sees that being a problem. So I'm going to say Houston, Indianapolis, Jaguars, and the Titans. And I think 2 teams go to the playoffs.
Nice. Okay. So I went back and forth in the second and third place a little bit, but I did say that I think Houston's got this one locked down. I love what they did last year. I love their defense. I love what they're putting together on the field. I get, though, Lisa, what you say about Diggs. I know that completely. He does seem a little bit like that, but then they turned around and made him a captain. And so I don't know if
because they didn't have a choice because all he does is this.
Well, fair. But
you saw him in the preseason. Did you see him in the preseason? Doing this.
I did. But
what was he doing, Lisa?
Doing this.
But
running that gator. That's all he was doing, was running the gator.
So, but to Sonia's point, their head coach is strong, and he is not going to put up with a bunch of crap from a wide receiver and with his precious new baby quarterback, right? Like, he's going to be good. So I think the Texans are good. I think the Texans are going to go deep into the playoffs. I think that's a really good team. I went back and forth between Jacksonville and Indianapolis in second place, and Richardson is the reason. I love that kid, and I was heartbroken when he was injured last year. But that means he's a rookie this year, right? So it might take a little while for him to settle in. I expect him to do well. And there are a lot of people in preseason, Lisa, who said he wasn't playing super well, that he was off on some of his play. Yeah, he was off on some of his throws, that sort of thing. So I think some of that, like we always say on this show, ladies, it takes 4 to 6 weeks before you even know what a team is. It might take him that long. So then I don't know if he'll be able to catch Jacksonville if they come out in a fast sprint. So I went back and forth, but I did end up putting the Jags in second, Colts in third, and then the Titans. And I think the Titans are going to be better this year than last year. But I still don't know how much I trust Will Levis. So we'll have to see how that goes. So, all right, Kate, it's all yours.
All right. So Titans last place, brand new coach, they're throwing out old people and bringing in new people, and they need to figure it out. And I think you're right. I think they'll be a little better than they were last year, but they're still going to be at the bottom. I have the Colts next. I have the Texans in second, and I believe in Trevor Lawrence. I have the Jaguars winning the division. My hot take is that this division sends 2 teams to the playoffs. And because they're going to send 2, let's all do math. The AFC West sends the Chiefs. The East sends the Bills and the Dolphins. That only leaves 2 spots for the AFC North, which means Cleveland better win some damn games early and win the division, because there is not a division in this AFC that's going to have room to get 3, because there are 2 really good teams at the top of 3 of the divisions.
That's fair.
In the NFC, I don't think there's a division that could send 3. That one's easy. It's 2-2-1. But in the AFC, there are a couple that I think could send 3, but I don't think any of them will. I think the top 2 teams, they're going to, because last year the Texans won the division with 10 and the Jags only had 9 and didn't get in the wild card with that.
Right.
This division is going to produce 10, 11, 12 game winners, at least 2 of them. And it could end up being the Colts in second. I don't think they can win the division. I think they're in second. Trevor Lawrence, he had a baby. He's all healthy. His head's right. I think the Jags are going to quietly take this division back from the Texans.
Because to be honest with you, like we mentioned about Herbert, we've been waiting for sunshine, as Michelle calls him, Trevor Lawrence to kick it in. We keep waiting.
He's been hurt, and he's been playing hurt because he felt like he had to carry. Baker Mayfield went through that when he was here. He had to keep quiet about being hurt because it was up to him to carry the team across the finish line.
Right.
And I think he's finally at a place where it's like, you know what? If I sit out 1 week and get healthy, then I don't have to sit out 8 or 6 or 4 because I've done too much damage. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to live up to the hype this year.
Be interesting. All right, let's see what the chat has to say about this division. All right, so we have Michelle, Indy, Houston, Jacksonville, Titans. Interesting.
That a girl.
I was looking at Lisa's paper. No copying.
Big Red says Jacksonville, Indy, Tennessee, and Houston.
Wow, Houston last.
That would be crazy.
That's cold.
Darcy has Houston, Jacksonville, Indy, and Tennessee. And then Becky says Houston, Indy, Jacksonville, Titans. Houston defense should be improved, and I'm not sure Richardson can stay healthy. That's the requirement. I mean, in order for Indy to do well, obviously they need that. So, and then Michelle says, although I need Diggs to play well for fantasy reasons, a wide receiver like him can ruin the development of a young quarterback. I've heard that from multiple people. That's really fascinating to me for sure. All right. And then Kristen's got the Texans, Jags, Colts, and Titans. And then Darcy says the AFC is really good and deep. So 3 divisions sending 2 teams to the playoffs, I can see happening. I agree with you. I think that's really interesting. So, all right.
All right. Wait, I get to do one.
Oh,
hi, Gabriel.
Oh, is that your grandson? Hi, Gabe.
My
How are you, buddy? Yes. Yeah. So Michelle's like grandma, and it's like, she really is the grandma.
He was in the chat and the college thing, and I'm like, who? And I saw the mask and the video game thing. So I'm like, now is it Kate's grandson or my grandson? Because I was just like, I was like, who? And he's like, Grandma Kate. And I'm like,
so that name is his gamer name. You introduce give his gamer name to your grandson, and they can be friends and play games. They can play Fortnite
Definitely,
together.
definitely.
That's so fun. All right. Well, I am excited for this season. And I think because, as we've mentioned in this hour and 4-minute long, we did not do too bad, ladies. Hour and 4-minute long conversation. There's a lot up in the air. The AFC doesn't seem as settled to me. And I'm not slamming the Chiefs. They want the three-peat. I get it. Are they talented enough to do it? Absolutely. Blah, blah, blah. We get you, pat you on the head. Okay. But I think that there's a lot of moving parts in the rest of the AFC. The NFC, if you ask me, is almost completely open for grabs, right? Like you have no idea. Is it going to be Green Bay? Is it the Niners? Or the Rams going to come out and no? There's so many options. But I'm going to tell you this. I have a feeling with all of my personal being, the Lions are going to the Super Bowl this year. I don't know why. I don't know that they'll win it. I just really feel like this is it. And that's not because I love Sonia. It's just because I think that this is their year and I love their head coach. So
I love Dan Campbell.
I do. Everybody.
We should all get I heart Dan Campbell shirts.
I'll see if I can find some.
That would be adorable. But I'm not even kidding. I think AFC, I'm assuming it'll be the Chiefs, but we don't know. Like I said, there could be another team kind of sliding.
The AFC battled all last year for those playoff spots, all the way up into those last games. And the NFL
until the Chiefs wanted to win. That's how it felt. Like the Chiefs were just marking time and putting it in, and they were like, "Oh, look, there's only a couple weeks left. We need to turn it on." And then
yes,
right. Well, apparently they're letting Taylor Swift make plays now, so we'll see how that goes. But all right. So Michelle has
her name again for the entire rest of the season. I will be happy, and I probably won't make it 10 minutes.
So you ladies were great. Thank you, Michelle. I missed the NFC East, but I hope you picked the Eagles.
We did.
A couple people did.
I did.
A couple of us picked the Commanders. We'll explain it to you later, sweetheart. We promise. All right. Big Red has a question for us. What's the worst team in the whole league this year? Who's getting the number one pick next year, ladies?
I'm giving it to the Panthers again.
It would be good for that team, to be honest with you.
I want to say Patriots, but I think Panthers.
Okay.
I think Panthers.
I'm picking the Patriots. I think this could be a bad year for them. Sonia, what about you?
Do you think they tank for a quarterback?
No, they just got
one. They just took Drake. They just need to get help. They need multiple picks.
They need pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trade out of it.
Titans. I think it's the Titans.
Interesting. Okay.
Ooh, wow.
Right. Yep.
Write that down.
Darcy agrees. Carolina. Yeah.
I'm gonna add it to our pick'em sheet. Worst in the league.
Yeah. Panthers. Sonia said Titans.
So this is interesting. Darcy says, for the NFC, for me, it's Philly, Detroit, San Francisco, and Green Bay just behind them. And then there's a gap after that. I don't know how big that gap is, though, especially with the Rams. You know what I mean? But I think you're right, Darcy, that there is, a Yahtzee Cup with 5 teams you could throw out, and really pretty much any of them could make it at that point. So.
And injuries can just derail everything we've said, everything.
And I did, Lisa, I'm glad you said that, because I did usually at the beginning of this show, I say, we all think it's shiny on paper right now, but we all know that paper gets tarnished and wrinkled and stepped on and coffee stained as the season goes. Exactly. So we'll have to see how that is. So, all right, everyone, that is our Pick'em show for this week or this year. Sorry, this week. We're not doing this again next week, but football.
We're doing it
next year.
One thing I want to tell all of our listeners, we're going to put this out on our social media too, is that we are changing up our format a little bit this year on how we cover games over the weekend. We are going to be covering the Thursday games and Sunday night, Monday night games, always like we always do. However, we have decided this year that we thought it would be fun to do a poll each week on what Sunday afternoon, either early or late game, you want us to cover. And then we are going to live tweet that entire game. You get to sit down and watch it play by play with us. We promise it will not always just be the 4 teams that we like, because once we do 2 teams one week, we cannot do them again the next week. And so we promise we're going to rotate through everyone. So be on the lookout for that poll. That is going to come out tomorrow. It's going to run for 2 days. And so that then we can go ahead and have everything ready for Sunday. We are going to do that every single week. So it'll be a lot of fun. And we hope you guys join us on social media and live tweet that with us and chat with us while we do that. It'll be super fun. All right, everyone. We will be back next Tuesday right here at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on YouTube. And do not forget the brand new Our Turf Football Podcast College Edition. It is every Wednesday night. You have two of these lovely ladies, Sonia and Kate, and then our good friend Michelle. They come on and they cover all of college football for you. And they love college football. So please, if you're a college football fan, join them every Wednesday night right here on YouTube. That is
tomorrow. We will be talking about the battle for
tomorrow.
Florida.
Big Red
versus the U is what's going to be the focus of our show with that, how that game went this weekend. We're going to do that.
It's a glorious,
Red.
week to be a Miami Hurricane.
Lord,
I don't know what side
so
Lisa's on. I can't.
I know for sure, but they are not going to do Miami games every week. I promise. No matter how much Lisa wants.
We're gonna be that good. Yeah, they will.
So you get the NFL on Tuesday, you get college football on Wednesday. So we hope you guys will join us. Make sure you like and subscribe subscribe to us so that you know when we go live. We'll see you guys tomorrow or next week. Bye-bye, everybody.